Welcome back to a special edition of Straight Talk Africa live from New York. Now let's go back to Washington. It's time again to bring in my colleague and social media reporter, Mariama.
Well, thanks, Peter. As world leaders discuss a myriad of major global issues at the United Nations General Assembly, African leaders are speaking out to emphasize and highlight their continental concerns and needs. This leads us to our question of the week, asking, what steps should the United Nations take to become more effective as an institution to help Africa solve its problems? Well, thanks for using all our social media platform to communicate to us. A reminder that we are tweeting live today. Use the hashtag VOA UNGA 70. If you haven't yet, please follow us on Twitter. Let's go to a tweet from Waziri of Taraku, who writes, let the global body go beyond talking or looking for what to gain, but help African leaders build strong institutions. Another one comes from Boubacar Ndiaye, and this guy has the same name as my brother. He says the United Nations funding should be centered on the Sustainable Development Goals because it's the fastest way to eradicate poverty and bring mutual understanding among countries. Let's move on to a Facebook comment from Freddie Kimuli from Kampala in Uganda, who writes, the UN has been looking the other way as dictators rule some African countries. Zimbabwe and Uganda are examples of such, but the UN has just kept praising them. We are tired of looking up to them. It's time for Africa to solve its problems. We will use Tunisia as an example and liberate ourselves from these dictatorial regimes. Well, another posting from William Kokulo from Monrovia, this time in Liberia, says, why can't the United Nations put a system in place that will stop African leaders from changing constitutions and staying in power past their term limit? Africa must respect its laws and regulations because disobeying these laws is creating conflict and impoverishing millions of people. Well, another Facebook comment comes from Richie Peza of Maputo in Mozambique, who writes, the solutions to the problems facing Africa are not found in the corridors of the United Nations. They are found inside Africa. Well, many different perspectives from all sides, but the most common point talked about by our audience has touched on term limits and respect on institutions. Not sure how much the UN can do on those issues, but at least your points have been heard, so let's keep the discussion going. And we'll have to leave it there for today's social media segment. Just a reminder that we appreciate all the feedback, whether it's in social media form or using other means to communicate to us. Please keep them coming. And if you are a new fan, just drop us a line at africatv@voanews.com. Once again, our email address is africatv@voanews.com. Or post your comment on our Facebook page. Just enter the keywords Straight Talk Africa. Be sure to visit us online at voaafrica.com, or you can join our YouTube channel. Sign up to VOA TV to Africa. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at VOA Shaka. A reminder that the show is streaming live every Wednesday. Go to VOA Straight Talk Africa program page on our website, or simply watch us live on your mobile device. Just download the VOA mobile app.